Put it in front of him. He wants to put it in front of him. Hello, everybody. We'll stop momentarily. Okay, so we're going to start with the first mitzvah is to know that there is Hashem, that He exists, and also learn about Him and connect with Him. Next mitzvah, to know, number 2, to know that Hashem is one, which means Hashem has no parts. Hashem is not, you can't split Him. He is one entity. 3rd, you have to love Him. 4, you have to fear Him. 5, you must pray every single day to Him when you need something, especially when you need something. 6, you have to connect with Him. 7, you have to swear in His name if you are swearing, if in case in a court or something. 7, if it's true, in certain cases you're allowed to. 8, to act like Hashem in the case of being kind to others and others, things like that. Visiting the sick. 9, to make a kiddush Hashem, to pray, to make people glorify His name. 10, to every single day read Shema 2 times a day, in the morning and the night. 11, to learn Torah and to teach Torah. 12, to tie tefillin to your head. 13, to tie it to your hand. 14, to put on tzitzis on your 4 corners of your garment. 15, to put a mezuzah on every door. 16, to gather all the Jews together to hear the Torah from the king every 7 years. After the Shemitah, there's a Hakel year. All the Jews gather in the temple to hear from the king. The whole Parshas Dvarim. 17, every single Jew must write for himself a Torah. In these days, we do it through buying holy books. 18, the king must write for himself 2 Torahs. He must own 2 Torahs and write with his own handwriting a Torah. 19, to bench Hashem, to praise Hashem every time that we eat a satisfying meal with bread. 20, to build a temple for Hashem. 21, to be scared of this temple. 22, to have fear, awe from this temple. 22, to always watch over this house, to make sure you have guards all around the temple. 23, that a Levi, someone from the Shevet of Levi, from the tribe of Levi, has to serve Hashem in the temple. 24, to a Kohen, before he serves Hashem, he has to wash his hands. That's why we wash our hands before davening, and his feet, right, in times of the temple. 25, you must always light the menorah every night and every morning. A Kohen lights the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash. 26, that the Kohen must praise the Jews every single day. We do it in Shul a few times a year, but in the times of the temple in Israel and by the Kotel, every single day, the Kohanim bless the Jews in front of every Shabbat. 27, to put on in front of Hashem's Holy of Holies in the Heichal, in the temple, 12 loaves of bread every single week, stood in front of Hashem, so to speak, Hashem's meal. 28, to 2 times a day to sacrifice in front of God a type of a spice that made a very strong smell. 29, to always have a fire lit in front of the temple on the altar. It's always 24/7. There was a fire lit on the altar. 30, to always every single morning pick up the ashes from the altar and put it on the side. 31, to always send people which are not pure out of the temple or out of the place where Jews are, to make sure all the Jews are always pure. This is also only in the times of the temple. 32, to always respect the Kohen, and you always have to make him first in every single thing which is holy. Very important. Very important to remember. 33, to always the Kohanim have special dress code. They have to dress when they serve Hashem. 34, that the Kohen must carry the ark which is in the holies of holies on his shoulders. 35, there's a special oil that Moses had that poured on the kings and the high priest. In order to become the high rank, Moses or any prophet of that time would pour a special oil. The recipe is in the Torah. It says exactly like the whole of spices mixed with oil, and they used to spill it on a way of making someone to grow on a higher level. 36, that a Kohen must serve in the Beis HaMikdash, but in shifts. Every single family had their own shift, but in the time of the celebration of the holidays, 3 times a year, everyone did it together. There was it was first come, first serve. Anybody that pushed got a job. 37, that a Kohen should never become not pure, which means going to a gravesite or touching a dead body. A Kohen is not allowed, even today, I'm not allowed to do that. But if, God forbid, a family member, he must have contact with the body, because you must care for your family members, and therefore you have to go yourself and bury them personally. 38. A Kohen Gadol must marry a virgin. 39. Every single day we have to bring at least 2 sacrifices in the temple to Hashem in the morning and in the afternoon. And for that we have today Shachris and Mincha, corresponding to those 2 sacrifices. 40. That a Kohen Gadol must bring to Hashem his own sacrifice every single day, called the Korban Mincha. 41. Every single Shabbos you add 2 sacrifices in the middle of the day. 43. Every single Pesach you have to have a korban every day of the 7 days of Pesach. 48. The second day of Pesach to have a special mincha, special offering with a lamb, which is called the mincha of the Omer, which is the 40. From then we count 49 days till Shavuos. And then the 45th mitzvah is to have the holiday of Shavuos and do sacrifices special for that holiday. 46. On Shavuos you bring 2 loaves of bread. This is the only loaves of bread. Chametz, the only chametz we have in the temple ever served is these 2 loaves of bread. We don't bring it on the altar, but because of these 2 loaves of bread that we sort of pick up in front of Hashem, we bring many animals as sacrifices to Hashem. 47. Every single Rosh Hashanah you have to bring a korban, a sacrifice to Hashem. 48. Every single Yom Kippur you have to bring a sacrifice. 49. That the Kohen Gadol must do all the avodah, all the worship that the Kohen Gadol must do. It's a lot of he has to take off his clothes, put on his clothes, a long list of how we should do it. It's all written in the Torah, and we read it every single day and every single year in Shul on Yom Kippur. 50. Every single Sukkot, you have to bring 7 or 8 sacrifices, and then on Shmini Atzeres, which is the day after Sukkot, you also have to bring a sacrifice. 52. You must celebrate on the festivals. You can't mourn. You have to celebrate. 53. To see God, and God should see you in every festival. In times of the temple, every Jew had the obligation to go up to the temple and let God see you on the 3 festivals of the year: Sukkot, Pesach, and Shavuos. 54. You must rejoice and eat and make, and rejoice means rejoice, celebrate, expressive physical celebration. 55. You must have a Korban Pesach, which means because God skipped over all the houses, we bring every single year in the times of the temple, the day before Pesach, a special sacrifice to commemorate that. 56. You have to have this sacrifice different than every single one, which you can do in any single way, cook it anyway. This you must cook on the grill. You have to cook it on a fire, all in one piece, not cook it in a pot. 57. You must make a Pesach Sheni if you don't make a Pesach Rishon, which from there we know there's always a second chance. 58. You have to eat this with matzah and maror, with bitterness, right? You have to remember the bitterness of the Jews in Egypt. 59. You have to blow trumpets in a time of need and a time when you bring sacrifices to Hashem. 60. Every single korban, you have to wait 8 days before you sacrifice it to Hashem, similar to a kid, that you can bring him closer to Hashem specifically on the 8th day. 61. Every single animal must be complete. You can't have a blemish on the animal. That's why we have to love every single Jew, because all the Jewish nation, in order to become closer to Hashem, we have to be complete, connected, all one with another. 62. You have to salt each korban. You have to put on salt on every single korban. That's what Shabbos, we dip the challah in the salt. 63. When there's a certain korban called oila that you bring up to sacrifice to Hashem, that the whole animal is only burnt 100% on the mizbeach. 64. That if someone does something wrong, that says no, you can't do. If it was a mistake, he can sort of get forgiveness after he decides not to do it again, obviously, by bringing an animal as a sacrifice to Hashem. 65, an asham, which is another for other things that people do wrong, they can bring an asham, even if it's on purpose. Hashem, some things that you do wrong, even though usually you can't bring a sacrifice for on purpose, wrong things that people do, but in this case you could, certain things. 66, there are certain sacrifices that you can eat the whole thing almost, there's some of it you give to Hashem. 67, there's a sacrifice called mincha, which is flour that you bring to Hashem, which is especially for poor people that don't have money for a sacrifice. Hashem said, you know what? Bring flour, and if you mean it with all your heart, that's what you have, I'll enjoy it just like the richest, biggest cow out there. 68, a Beis Din, a Jewish court, if they make a mistake, they have to sort of get forgiveness from Hashem, and they have to bring also a sacrifice. 66, if someone made a mistake, he also has to bring a korban. Before we said the laws about the korban, that was mitzvah, now it's mitzvah, that obligation on the person he must bring. 70, if you don't know if you made a mistake or not, it's called the Asham Taloi. You have to bring that. That's the 70th mitzvah. 71. If you by accident use the Beis stuff, belongings of God, belongings of the Beis Hamikdash, or you steal, or you have a wrong relationship with the Shifcha Charufa, it's natural law, or if someone lied when he owed someone money, then he brings an Asham Vadak. 72. There's a certain things that people do that if they do, they have to bring a sacrifice, but Hashem is lenient on them, and if they don't have the money for it, he can say you can bring a bird, and if a bird is not, if you're too poor to pay for a bird, you can bring flour. 73. If somebody did something wrong, he has to do tshuva. He has to tell Hashem, I'm not going to do it again. But it's not enough. It's not enough that he thinks it with his mind, feels it with his heart. He must say it with his words. When there's something, when you say, just like with a friend, you have to say it. With God also, you have to say it to bring it out in a very revealed way that you will never do it again. 74. If someone is a zav, it's a certain impurity, he must bring a korban, a sacrifice when he's done, when he's healthy. 75. A zava, a woman that has the same sickness. 76. If someone has a baby, they have to bring a sacrifice to Hashem. 77. A mitzvah, someone which has leprosy, he has to bring a korban after he's healed. 78. You have to bring to Hashem one of every 10 animals that you own. You have to bring to Hashem, and you can eat it, but you have to bring it as a sacrifice, which means these sacrifices you slaughter it in the temple. You bring a few pieces on the altar, and the rest you take home and you eat it in Jerusalem. 78. 79. You have to make holy the firstborn of every male firstborn of an animal. It's a holy animal, and you have to bring it to the Beis Hamikdash. 80. You have to redeem your firstborn. If you're not a Kohen or a Levi, if you have a firstborn boy, you have to redeem him by giving money to the Kohen, which is around $100 today, a little more. You have to give it to the Kohen, ask the Kohen to redeem your son, and that's the way you can own your son, so to speak. 80. You have 81. You have to redeem your firstborn donkey by giving the Kohen a sheep. If you don't want to, 82 says that you have to kill the donkey because you can't have a donkey which is not redeemed by the Kohen. 83. You must finish all your duties after I just saying all these sacrifices. If you're living in the Golan Heights, it can take you a while to come to Israel. You don't need to come every single day to the temple. But on the festival, you got to bring all your duties, all the sacrifices, 100, 250, whatever it is, bring it to the temple, and within the 7 days, you slaughter the animals and you make big parties, and everyone has what to eat. Okay, everyone have a great day.
It's all positive.
It's all positive. Always stay positive, besides when it comes to Corona.
And one manufacturer is not a black.